Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting edition of Tight Talk on Turnbuckles, brought to you in part by the Pages, Pictures, and Panels Podcasting Network. Ooh, that's such a mouthful, but I get it done every time. That sounds familiar. But anyway, let's keep going. We're here today to talk to you about Revolution, AEW's great pay-per-view that they put on last night. Here we are. It's a Monday morning. It's fresh in our minds. We really want to get to this. Just to give a couple bullet points before I hand it off to my co-host, I fucking loved it. Those are my 3 bullet points, but let's go get right over to Red. Red, how do you feel about the pay-per-view, buddy?
Oh man. All right. So this pay-per-view was one of the best that I've watched in the past decade. Uh
Yeah.
Easily the most stacked match card as a whole than I've
Mm.
seen in most of my time watching wrestling. Like felt like a WrestleMania 21 quality match card. Uh
Absolutely.
and I think 90% of the match exceeded expectations. Some of them were a little iffy, but as a whole, goddamn, it was probably like a fucking 9 out of 10 for me. Uh, yeah, we can get into specifics. We can go down the match card then, but what were your overall thoughts on it?
Overall, I think it was a transformative pay-per-view for AEW. They're stepping more into the lines of a company that content-wise can compete with like a bigger show. We've had a lot of back and forth talks about like WrestleMania being able to live up to it. In honest regards, like content-wise, they're not going to have matches on par with Revolution. No, they're not. But it's the shows. They're going to pull out stops. I have a prediction. We're going to see a Dwayne Johnson or somebody big, John Cena. Somebody's coming. But as far as Revolution goes, the match card was just about flawless. Not to be like gender biased, but the women's matches could use some work and some star power. A lot of their flaws shine through an ace. Thunder Rosa, to me, just seemingly not really that connected with the American style of wrestling. Britt Baker just not being super special. Sorry, Adam. You're great, bro. Central PA represent, but Britsburg just doesn't do it for me. Same deal with Cargill. I see a lot of potential in her to be great on a Charlotte Flair-esque level, and I could be reaching pretty fucking high because she's excellent. But yeah, I see that in her as of right now. And Ty Conti, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. Ty Conti is actually pretty good. I think Ty Conti is a talent that, with a little bit more development, can be generational. Like she can be a trainer eventually and shit like that. She's real smooth and crisp. Sometimes it looks like she's counting a little bit, but she's smooth and precise, and looks to me like she has the attention to detail with her work. So like I'd like to actually see more of her. But
Yeah, man. You know what female actually impressed me? In the pre-show, Layla Hirsch.
Hirsch,
She put on a show.
yeah, Layla Hirsch. They have those girls, man. Statlander. Wait, did Hirsch fight Statlander?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but I say Chris Statlander, that's another one. She's just great, bro. They have her mixed in with Best Friends and oh my god, what the fuck? I can't even think of the name of the faction inside of New Japan that Best Friends and them are a part of. But yeah, they're all with the guy from Roppongi Vice, Rocky Romero. I can't even think. But yeah, like she's in a good mix. They have like some sleeper cells in their women's division that they're not pushing. Big Swole actually called out Tony Khan recently about not being used and stuff like that when she was released. But that's for a whole nother cast. My other notes as far as everything else, I enjoyed everything, bro. Like we can break it down and get to it, but like everything was great. Like always, we really don't have too many like complaints about AEW. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It definitely felt that way, honestly. Uh, the match card opened up with Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston, the fucking seemingly real world beef a lot of the time. And I'm gonna get this out of the way. We said this before the show, but Eddie Kingston, if he's gonna be a top card contender along with people like Chris Jericho, he is going to need to get into better shape.
Yeah. I mean, it was two things really with Kingston. It's his shape and getting some wins. Like he didn't really have any high profile wins, and I guess that was the basis for this feud. He never really wins the big one, and that's really been a thing in AEW. Like he's just he just doesn't win. And it makes me think, like, is Tony Khan and his like creative team a genius? And they're like planning this shit out ahead of time. Like, we're gonna have you come in, lose a bunch, you'll make us some bank, but then there'll be a redemption storyline maybe a year and a half in. Because like even when I was sitting here looking at the highlights for him and Mox's match, just to refresh for the show, I'm looking at like all his other AEW feuds on YouTube, and it's like, wow, he lost that, he lost that, he lost that, he lost that. It's like, really, what did you fuck? But like maybe now, I don't know about a top contender. Like we'll never see him in the world title picture seriously, and that sucks to say because I love Eddie Kingston. I think he's one of the best promos in wrestling. But TNT Championship, FTW, the FTW belt. Wow, hold that one a second.
But
that one
overall, I think they put on a good show. It was well sold. A lot of it seemed like from the start of the match.
Right.
Kingston dumps Jericho on his neck. Looks like a botch a bit, and then it kind of felt like felt like a shoot personally. But if not, it was just expertly sold, and I wouldn't doubt that either. Chris Jericho is one of the best fucking performers in the business.
Yeah.
And I would, no matter what, real or fake, that was a good ride. It was a good opening match. It got us all ready for the event with a little bit of extra aggression towards each other, and I liked it. I'd give it like 7 out of 10, probably, honestly.
Well, I mean, it was a genius start. Like you start off with the blood feud, like you said, it was a bit shooty of a match, and I think that that's due to Jericho being a professional, being able to make anybody look well, and Kingston's lack of polish, which almost adds polish to his character because it's a bit more realism. It was destined to be a knockdown, drag out brawl. I knew this wasn't going to be pretty. You know what I mean? Even Jericho, he went on record this week, previously to the match, saying that he was going to have a show stealer with Kingston, but it wasn't going to be in the regards that a show stealer is normally held. And I appreciate the match, man. I'm not going to lie. And Kingston's spinning back fist never looked better. 2, the stretch plum, using that to tap out Jericho, a submission guy, career submission guy. He's won most of his major titles with the Walls of Jericho.
Who's had Eddie in the Walls of Jericho this match?
It's a big win, man. Big win. He came across with a big one. It's undisputed. He tapped him out. There's no way to say he cheated to win the big one. We're not really going to have to. I think that like the submission win also stops us from having to sit through another one. Not that like this one wasn't good, because it was, but you run the risk of doing too much because this isn't a series. This isn't something that people would want to see as a series. Not saying that Kingston wasn't wrestling, because these half Nelson suplexes, the half Nelson suplex he started the match with. Christ.
Yep. Yeah, that's a fact. And honestly, I like the Chris Jericho heel aspect always. Him refusing to shake the hand at the end is a good story point. And
yeah,
like you were just saying, that leads us to this obviously isn't the end of their story.
Hopefully we get the Painmaker Chris Jericho, face paint Chris Jericho coming back. He can do some heel work under the Painmaker.
That'd be fucking insane.
That would be.
Yeah, overall, fantastic start, and then it was preceded by a even better match, honestly. The AEW Tag Team Championship, Jurassic Express, the Young Bucks, and Red Dragon in a triple threat tag match.
Yeah. Let me just say, I appreciate the fact that we didn't rush Red Dragon into a championship reign they're not prepared for, and we don't have opponents properly and feuds properly set up for. So I appreciate Tony for not doing that. The Bucks, man, are just playing that pioneer position right now. They don't necessarily need the titles right this second. It was the best choice for Jurassic Express to retain, which they did. Stellar match, a little spotty at times, but you expect that sometimes with Bucks matches because they are at times spectacle matches. But it was good. I mean, personally, I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, the Jurassic Express is always a fun time. Jungle Boy, what is it? What is Luke Perry's son, whatever his name is in real life?
Jack Perry.
Yes. He he's definitely got what it takes to be like one of those big names out there. Uh,
Absolutely.
he feels like an old school tag team wrestler, and he feels like one of those. Obviously, Luchasaurus, I don't see being a breakout singles competitor, but Jungle Boy feels like in the tag team, he is that breakout star. And I'm definitely excited to see the future of both Jurassic Express and him as a solo competitor. But let us talk about the Young Bucks. I love that tag team so much, bro. They feel so hardcore classic tag team wrestling style.
Yeah. Love the
And,
Bucks, man. My
and
favorite young Buck. Do you have a
nope. Half the time I can't even tell them apart, honestly. When they're moving in the ring, I can't tell who's who. But
Matt
I
is the one that normally headband.
okay, I was gonna say I normally judge it by the fucking top nine. But
About to say, wears headbands.
word. But I if okay, so there are rumors Jeff Hardy is gonna be showing up on Dynamite this week. Uh I would love to see a Young Bucks fucking Hardy Boys feud. That would be insane. That would be so good. Uh
Well, it's coming. It's definitely coming. We're probably going to get. I'm going to do a prediction because we're starting on the Pages, Pictures, and Panels podcasting network, starting to be some prediction guys. So I'm going to make a prediction here for Wednesday. We are going to get Jeff Hardy's debut after the HFO turns on Matt Hardy. They're going to turn on Matt Hardy. Andrade is going to take over, and because they lost to Sting and Darby and them. So yeah, man, and Jeff Hardy's going to make the save. We'll get them versus the HFO first. We get the big shows once every or four of them a year, right? Like AEW does 4 a year.
yeah.
So I predict pay-per-view we will get at the next big pay-per-view, we're going to get Bucks Hardys, unless Tony wants to go for the big rating and pop the huge TV rating and put Bucks Hardys on live fucking television. But it's coming.
Yeah, man. And when it happens, I would love it to be a ladder match.
He put Danielson and Kenny Omega on free TV.
That's a fact. Uh
Insane.
yeah, overall great match. I'd say about 7 out of 10 too. Uh it was definitely better than the opener, but it was not much better. There wasn't really much below a 7 on the match card, honestly. Uh but that brings us to CM Punk and MJF in their dog collar match. Oh
Yeah.
man, that match was a ride. Uh Punk was split open within the first 5 minutes and then
Yeah.
proceeded to paint the entire arena red with his fucking face. It was so gory, and
Mhm.
that's saying something because they didn't use anything besides the chain itself. Like
Right.
at one point in the start of the match, MJF whips the back of CM Punk and it
Yeah.
left a near black welt on his back. It was so bad. And it was just so brutal. So it felt so rewarding uh from like the CM Punk point of view because
Yeah.
his character I dread to admit it, his character is growing on me through this beef. Uh this has been a really good angle so far, and it's obviously over, like you said before the show when we were talking about it. It does look like it's going to turn into an MJF Wardlow feud. That'd be all right with me. But
Yeah.
also we saw on Dynamite they're going to be having the Wardlow match.
Wardlow and Guevara.
Wardlow and who is it? Well, we'll have to come back to that. But
That genuine
but
reaction. I'm like,
but
oh
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not Sammy. But
yeah.
uh, but overall, it was pretty much what I expected from the match. It was a it was a beatdown. In the words of Jim Ross, it was a slobber knocker.
Yeah.
But how'd you feel about it?
Um, I'm weird with specialty matches, like these gimmick matches and stuff. But I have a special place in my heart for the dog collar match because of CM Punk. Um, CM Punk literally, if you guys are fans of me through this channel or fans of me through music, you know that I love pro wrestling and I love CM Punk. His feud with Raven shaped who I am character wise through everything that I do. And part of that was his dog collar match with Raven. I also enjoyed Piper's dog collar match. I don't know, man. I just love those matches. I'm almost certain that I saw a collar match between JBL and fucking Chris Jericho before too.
That's wild. That sounds familiar. It was either that or like one of the weird Texas bull rope matches or something.
That might have been it. I love that match, bro. I love that match, but we'll get to that another time.
For sure.
I loved it. MJF is special as fuck. Like one of the shining stars of the future. Same way I felt about Randy Orton when Randy Orton was going against Mick Foley. Same deal. Kid has nowhere to go but up. We got the Wardlow thing on the horizon. I mean, we're not done with Punk. I'm sure there will be a rubber match for the third match. But maybe not. Maybe we'll move right into the Wardlow stuff. Because not for nothing, yeah, we've only got 2 matches out of those two, Punk and MJF. But this feud, before even the first match happened, bro, they were going for like a good 2-3 months.
Yeah, it was amazing. I definitely the promos are what got, like we were saying, the promos are what got us. CM Punk is one of the best promo guys in the modern wrestling era and of all time, honestly. But
For sure.
MJF definitely showed what he had in this angle. It was amazing.
It's time. It's time to move on. I mean, and you see Punk signify towards the end of like leaving the ring. He's going like this. So I mean,
And he shook his hand.
He shook Max's hand.
Yeah.
Punk shook Max's hand.
Yeah. When he was unconscious, he picked his hand up and shook it, like his unconscious hand, like, because they fought it out. It was awesome. It was like a sense of respect type thing.
Oh yeah, then they're done. I didn't even see that part. Then yeah, they're done. Like that's it for that. And I was thinking we were gonna get the winner of that match versus the winner of Mox Danielson. I thought that was gonna be like to determine who's gonna face Adam Page next, because those are the 2 high profile matches outside of a title contention match on the card. But we'll get more to that when we're probably covering that next. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Perfect segue. Mox Danielson knockdown drag out brawl once again. You know, you guys love to hear me say that, and I'm going to keep saying it because they fucking snapped. Definitely one of the better pro wrestling matches that I've seen in the last 2 years. Just so good, man. Mox is just head and shoulders better than Dean Ambrose. I fucking hated that character. I hated his moveset. Jon Moxley is the shit, and I love him. I don't know what else to say, man. He fucking kicked ass, and Danielson is Danielson. He's the greatest pro wrestler today.
Yeah.
I'm just
that I honestly don't know anyone who would disagree with that. Honestly, Danielson is pretty close to perfect in the ring.
yeah.
If there is such a thing, that guy is as close as it gets. And Jon Moxley, bro, like you said, I hated Dean Ambrose. I was always wondering why this fucking weirdo was just hanging out with fucking Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins when they first showed up together. And like he never fit the entire, like he didn't fit WWE. For some reason it never felt like there was a place for that guy. And he can go anywhere he wants in AEW, do whatever he wants, and it will be a top of the card match. Like incredible. It was 2 of the best names in AEW right now, and I loved it from start to finish. Even down to the weird ending that was the fucking the very subtle pin of Moxley, or on from Moxley onto Danielson. And it was incredible. And what ended the match? the appearance of William fucking Regal in AEW, bro.
Yeah.
I used to hate William Regal because of his character. He was always a prick on screen, but that man has done so much for the WWE and wrestling as a whole.
Yeah.
You can't help but to respect him and everything he's done. And when he walked out, I was like, oh, WWE really fucked up now. They lost William fucking Regal, bro. He was so much of the backstage presence.
G shit. He's the reason NXT was that great, that good. The last piece of the puzzle is getting Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe goes over there. We're I don't have any reason to keep watching the other show. And it's sad because I don't even think Will Regal is going to work in the back. I think he's going to be a part of this fucking Moxley, Daniel Bryan, Bryan conglomerate.
Yeah.
I think he's going to, and that, can you imagine those three are your leaders? Wow.
That's like we talk about constantly. Late 90s, early 90s, really. That's that quality fucking big three you want at the top.
Yep. And the match itself, I compare Moxley, Danielson to like Bret Hart, Austin. You know what I mean? Like
For
when they had their, that's pretty much what it's like. Like Moxley is their Austin, and Daniel Bryan is, I don't even want to say the closest thing to Bret Hart. He's better than Bret Hart. Bret Hart was a fucking crybaby who had a lot of skill, but never really had the balls to live up to his potential, especially after his brother passed away. I'm just going to fucking say it.
I'll never agree with that. I love it, man.
I love him too, bro. But like once he went to WCW, it was over, bro. It was fucking over. Literally, Goldberg with his amazing super kick. But we're gonna get to that another time. We should actually do an episode on the fall of the Hitman. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie, it was a great match, my favorite match of the night, and I'm gonna actually give that match a 9 out of 10. You know what? A 10 out of 10.
I can agree with that for sure. Actually, I would say the same. It was definitely my favorite match of the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall it was incredible. I loved it, and I love that it also came full circle with their little promo about I don't fucking run with anybody that I haven't bled with. Well, Moxley bled so goddamn much in that match that like, well, there we go. It felt like an appropriate end after one match.
I 100% agree. And you know what? I just had another thought. I'm willing to go out on this far of the limb on Bret Hart just because I think Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit were also better than Bret Hart. I think Owen Hart.
I feel like Chris Benoit was one of the probably top 3 best wrestlers of all time. And I put Daniel Bryan in that top 3.
And can we not put Kurt Angle in there?
I would agree, but I feel like to a public consensus, most people might not agree. But I could see that.
But Angle.
I was gonna say if it's not Angle, it probably is Bret Hart though up there.
Fuck. Like that is so sad.
That man has the fucking best textbook technical fucking like he has the best fundamentals of wrestling.
At a time, I'll agree with that. At a time,
in his prime, yeah,
he was a better pro wrestler than Shawn Michaels, though. No way. What?
He's not a better performer, and he's not a better like selling stuff in the ring, but overall, like actual technical, like grappling, wrestling, like all that. I think Bret Hart has that over Shawn.
Oh yeah, he was way more.
Shawn knows the ring better. Shawn knows how to be a like professional wrestler better. He has, and I definitely like it is professional wrestling, not Olympic wrestling. So in this sense of this conversation, yes, Shawn Michaels, I would agree, is a better wrestler. But
yeah, no, completely, I get it. But see, in the same sense, when we talk like Shawn versus Kurt, WrestleMania 21, or just those 3 matches from that year period, dude, like. I don't know. You can compare them a lot easier than you can him and Bret, and that's another technical guy. Like, it's just something about Bret Hart, man. Like, I just, he didn't have the right opponents. Let's say that. I would love to see Bret Hart get a real technical series, not just against his brother. Like, how about if Bret would have stayed and we could have got Bret versus 2001 Edge, who won the King of the Ring, or we could have got versus Benoit or Guerrero. Oh my God,
that's what I was gonna say. Was Eddie and Bret Hart would be a dream because
that might.
in WCW most likely.
Yeah, that might have happened. I want to look into that. Some of those matches might have happened. This is something we
I'm
went
pretty sure he wrestled Benoit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We went a bit off topic, but this is something to get back to because that's interesting. I actually want to check into that.
Let's just do a whole Bret Hart episode.
Yeah, dude, I'm so in. So in.
Yep. All right, so let's get back to it. So yeah, that match was amazing. Best of the year so far. And I realize we also skipped a match though, so I guess our transition will be that, and we will go back to the fucking Face of the Revolution ladder match.
Right.
Keith Lee, Orange Cassidy, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, Wardlow, and Christian Cage. Weirdly enough, to me, Christian Cage was the least impressive. All he was there for was to set up the ladders.
Yeah, he played the mentor role. I don't really have much to say about this match. Again, I'm really weird with gimmick matches. It was good for what it was, but that's really what this was. Just a way to shoehorn my boy Wardlow into the TNT title picture, get him out of the not the inner circle. Fuck. What are they called, dude? The Pinnacle. Get him out of the Pinnacle, away from Spears and stuff like that. I guess Spears is going to step up and be the right MJF now. That's fine with me. But it just was that. It was a spot fodder match. And it's fine.
Everyone put on a good show. I will say that. It was an enjoyable match. I was in from start to finish, even with my detestment of I cannot stand Orange Cassidy, bro.
You know, like
not
like Orange.
All. I definitely understand why JR does not fuck with that guy.
I love his kicks. Those
So I have to interrupt with a special announcement. So
yeah.
They have all but confirmed Jeff Hardy now. It's all but confirmed he's going to be on the Elite YouTube show with Young Bucks run.
Really? That actually, I think that just dropped like during the show.
Just dropped, yeah. Boy. So there you have it. You heard it here first, folks. We will hopefully be seeing that this week then. But anyway.
Yeah, but I think it's a 8 out of 10. It's like Money in the Bank. That's why I don't really have much to think about it. It was what it was. It's not going to be anything past the Wardlow stuff on Wednesday. So everybody's going to go this way. So
yeah, it felt almost like a toned down Money in the Bank. I'd agree with you. It was a little more exciting than like the Jericho match and stuff. So I'd say it was an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, I would like to go back and retract my statement on the Jurassic Express match. That's an 8 out of 10 too, along par with this. But
fair enough.
So with that, we covered CM Punk and we covered Moxley, Danielson. That leaves us with AHFO versus Darby Allin, Sammy, and Sting.
Snooze fest. Pointless. Goes nowhere. Leads to nothing.
Sting did a fucking press off the balcony through 3 tables when he was supposed to go through 4. It was cool that a 60-year-old man can fly like that. But outside of that, Darby didn't do anything I was extra impressed with. Sammy was Sammy. Like, he was consistent. He was the best part of the match, honestly, overall.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all right.
I just don't like. The feud was happening and stuff on Dynamite, and there's so much other shit going on the show. Like, I don't notice this is happening. Like, not only do I not notice, when I do notice, it's like, who gives a shit? Like, and it sucks because there's so many good wrestlers wrapped up in this, like, this whole faction deal going on inside of AEW. Like, Sting could be doing something else. Darby Allin and Sting, actually, I do like together, but Sammy could have had a match tonight.
That's what I'm saying. I would have loved a singles match where he put up one or both belts.
Well, I mean, I like the fact that he put the belt up on Rampage Friday. That was dope. But like, I don't know, man. It's the
But
pay per
I
view you're
enjoyed
fighting.
that match more than this one, honestly.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, we could have got like an open challenge. Not saying this match couldn't have happened, but like maybe we could
An
have.
open challenge would have left such a sweet spot for a fucking surprise entrance.
You could have debuted Swerve that way. Swerve versus Sammy Guevara, right there for the championship.
Or let me one up you. Fucking debut Jeff Hardy right there.
Yeah, but see, that's the deal. He would have to win. Like he would have to win.
And
And
at this point, I do like Sammy as champion. He is killing the game, honestly, right now.
yeah, and they already took the championship off him surprisingly with Cody like a month ago. So like he just got it back. It's time for him to have that lengthy run and like and elevate the belt with some people. I'd love to see him and Andrade again because
Yes. Oh my
Jesus.
God, the performances against him. I honestly think they might set up him and Darby soon.
Yep, I'd like to see that as well.
Because like Darby had that little weird heelish moment at the end of their match last week because they couldn't work together properly.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like they didn't really address that even at the end of this match and stuff. They were just homied up again. But I feel like in coming weeks we're gonna see more of a heel turn for Darby, honestly.
Probably.
And that sounds awesome to me.
Me too.
That brings us to our main event, the big belt match of the night. Hangman Adam Page and Adam Cole. I loved it.
Yep. I liked it. I think it was really good. I'll just give my rating right from the door. I want to give it a 7 out of 10. It wasn't bad whatsoever. I'm not the biggest Adam Page fan. He's dope. He's growing on me. He was like the least interesting member of Bullet Club, so that's just my personal opinion. But I love Adam Cole again. Central PA stand up. He's a hometown boy basically, right from Lancaster. I gotta support him in everything he does. He's my favorite pro wrestler of this generation of today, Adam Cole. So yeah, man. Glad he didn't win the belt though.
Yeah, I do think it worked. But Hangman definitely he draws a crowd. He sells tickets, and I think he's a really good choice for the champ right now. If he would have lost that, it would have set up a weird era in AEW that I don't think they really want to do this early in their career, and that they don't want to do a big heel era. It's too early for an attitude era, I feel. But
They kind of already just did it with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega had a really lengthy feud or really lengthy run as a heel champion. Like we just got a face champion again. They'll save Adam.
Yeah, I definitely think Adam Cole is going to end up with the belt. Don't get me wrong, but I think this is going to be a pretty long-standing feud. I think they go up until next pay-per-view.
I mean, they can for sure.
And Adam Cole and his homies are a bunch of snakes, bro. Like it makes for such a great heel story when you have such a vast group that you can do so many different fucked up stuff to the face.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's why I cannot wait to see what I don't know what the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know what they're calling themselves here in AEW, but I'm still calling them the UE. The UE, I can't wait to see what they do. Adam Page, like I said, is growing on me. I think he is the right choice for champion right now. I would love to see him have some more credible challengers if we're not going to stick with Cole.
Like we were saying earlier in the show, Keith Lee.
That would be very interesting. But I think that's a one-off thing as well. Like that's not something that they could carry as a pro.
He needs like that big enemy in the company, like how John Cena. In my mind, John Cena had Edge.
That's Kenny, and Kenny never did get a rematch.
That would be insane. He'd have to win still, though. He'd have to beat Kenny.
It depends. Because if Kenny would beat him, it could set up another match between the two.
Yeah.
Faced each other before. He already lost. Technically, the third match already happened. But this is a new series now. So it would set up technically a second and then the third. The redemption.
Kenny's got to take it on Dynamite or Rampage.
Like that. See, that's what I love about AEW as well. That like their secondary show isn't secondary. Rampage is so fucking good, dude.
Right?
Every
Like,
week.
bro, it's an hour long, which just means that I'm about to be losing my mind for an hour.
Yep. Pack it with action. It's not like a bunch of interviews and shit. It's my favorite wrestling show of the week. I love the hour-long wrestling show, and it's been so long since we had a great one. Velocity used to be that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Bro,
now
I miss Velocity so much.
so good, so good. But yeah, man, my final match rating and final overall rating of the pay-per-view overall match rating, I give it a 9 out of 10. Great match. Can't wait to see the future for Adam Page. I know Adam Cole will have that strap eventually. And for overall pay-per-view, I want to give it a 9 out of 10. Great show. Tony Khan and the boys put on an amazing example of what we need for 2022. The next pay-per-view is going to be great. Also, shout out to TNA, Impact Wrestling, excuse me, for having their pay-per-view on Saturday, which was also great. Highlight of that night was Jay White versus Alex Shelley. Maybe we'll get to that in another segment some other time. But yeah, that's my thoughts on AEW Revolution. Red?
Yeah, for that match, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. It was on par with everything. Uh, Overall for the pay-per-view, though, like you said, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It was a great time. It was definitely, it put AEW on top for WWE for me, like in the moment type sense. Overall, WWE obviously is supreme. That's the part of the tyranny. But but
Yeah,
WrestleMania is definitely it's got to show up. We better see some good matches, some good appearances, like you were saying.
word.
Potentially a Rock Roman Reigns spot. That would be pretty crazy. I would love to see that match. And we still haven't heard anything about Stone Cold for WrestleMania, have we?
Nope, not at all.
I'd love it. Bring him in, have him just stunner some people. We don't even need a match. But what I've heard
Yeah,
was him and Kevin Owens.
interesting. The Battle of the Stunners, because he
The
officially.
Battle of the Stunners. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
But
yes, sir.
yeah, this fantastic pay-per-view, fantastic matches, fantastic vibe. It was overall pretty spot on. I loved it.
Me too. Loved it, man. It was a great show, a great weekend for wrestling. And with that being said, do we have anything left?
Raw tonight.
We will be covering that on the next edition of Pages, Pictures, and Panels produced podcast, Tight Talk on Turnbuckles. I'm your host, Tildy M, with my co-host, Roach Boy Red.
And you guys have a good night.
Peace.